Welcome, RC Kids. This is Pastor Raph. I am so excited to be here with you all today. We are wrapping up our Wise series. If you can believe it, this is week 4. Okay, last week we talked about how Solomon made a wise ruling and how this whole series about how God gives us wisdom. And the big idea for this week is this: we can ask God our questions. We can bring our questions to God. It's okay to have questions, kids. I have a lot of questions, okay? And I'm your pastor. But the amazing thing about it is that God isn't scared of questions, and he invites us to bring them to him. And so that's what we're going to be digging into this week. Again, I just want you to know I miss y'all. Can't wait to be with y'all, see you in person. But for now, excited to worship with you online. All right, have a great week. Thanks.
Wise up, y'all.
Wise up.
Come on.
I'm gonna listen and do. Wise up.
Hey.
Every day we choose to wise up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen and do. Wise up.
Wise up, y'all.
Wise up. Lean in.
To the back, to the front.
Listen up.
Jump, jump.
Don't let your day slide away.
Slide left, slide right.
Work hard.
Fist pump, fist pump.
Wise up.
Come on.
I'm gonna listen and do. Wise up.
Hey.
Every day we choose to wise up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen and do. Wise up.
Wise up, y'all.
Lean in.
To the back, to the front.
Listen up.
Jump,
Don't
jump.
let your friends bring you down.
Get down, get down.
Keep your heart turned up.
Get up, get up.
Wise up. I'm gonna listen and do. Wise up.
Come on, y'all.
Every day we choose to wise up.
Hey.
I'm gonna listen and do. Wise up.
Come on.
Every day we choose to wise up. Lean in.
To the back, to the front.
Listen up.
Jump, jump.
Don't let your friends bring you down.
Get down, get
Keep your
down.
heart turned up.
Get up, get up.
Wise up. I'm gonna listen and do. Wise up.
Yeah.
Every day we choose to wise up. I'm gonna listen and do. Wise up.
Wise up.
Wise up. I'm gonna listen and do. Wise up.
Hey.
Every day we choose to wise up.
Come on.
I'm gonna listen and do. Wise up. Every day we choose to wise up.
It's time to wise up, y'all.
Wise up.
Wise up.
From the depths you have raised me to a height I have never seen. Oh, you saw what I could be, and now I know I'll never be the same. And now your light is painting over me in all the colors of a masterpiece. Yeah, and now I'm not the same, 'cause perfect love has called my name. Alive and unafraid, this beating heart forever changed. And now I'm not the same. And now I'm not the same. Let the free walk in freedom. Let your love be the reason. Breath of life I am breathing. And now I know I'll never be the same. And now your light is painting over me. Oh, in all the colors of a masterpiece. Yeah, and now I'm not the same, 'cause perfect love has called my name. Alive and
Well, hello there, you little chicken nuggets. It's me, Carl.
And I'm Cassie. Welcome to Grow TV.
Welcome.
Welcome to Grow TV. Introducing your host, Carl. And your co-host, Cassie. Where we learn, where we grow, and we talk about Jesus. Once again, welcome to Grow TV.
So Carl, how are you doing today?
Not doing too bad. I have a lot on my mind today.
Really? What do you mean?
I don't know if you know this about me, Cassie, but I am an intellectual. Intellectual.
An intellectual? Really?
I am a person of vast intelligence. My brain is so big that it's puzzled multiple doctors. Hundreds, actually. Hundreds.
I'm sure it has.
So I was sitting at home with my enormous brain, and I wrote down some questions I think we should discuss and ponder over. Converse, if you will.
Do you really feel like this is the best use of our time?
Too late! The copyright-free classical music is already playing in the background. How much deeper would the ocean be if sponges didn't live in there? Why doesn't glue stick to the inside of a bottle? Why do we drive on parkways? And park on driveways? If a cow laughed, would milk come out of its nose? Why do skydivers wear helmets? Why does your nose run and your feet smell? Why don't your lips touch when you say the word touch, but they touch when you say the word separate?
Wow, that was...
Remarkable, life-changing, thought-provoking.
I was gonna say interesting, but sure.
I get it, Cassie. You're jealous of my ginormous brain and the questions it has created.
I don't know if that's true. Besides, those were good questions, but kind of silly.
Silly?
Yeah, did you have any more?
Well, sure, but I don't know about them.
Can I look?
Sure, I guess.
What's my purpose? What does it mean to live a good life? How can I learn to forgive? Wow, Carl, these are really good questions.
You think?
Of course, I think these are questions you should be asking God.
Wait, I can ask God questions?
Of course, have you never done that?
I don't think I have.
Well, let me tell you this, God would love to hear you ask those questions.
Really?
Yeah, and you never know. They might be answered in really cool ways, like Nehemiah.
Whatty?
Nehemiah, from the Old Testament.
Oh, Nehemiah. I remember that story, but for the people watching who don't, how do you say, remember the story, how about you give like a brief recap for them, not for me, because I know it.
Okay, Carl. Well, a long time ago, there was a king, and the cupbearer of the king was named Nehemiah. And the walls of Nehemiah's hometown, Jerusalem, were broken down. They were in shambles.
What? That's awful. I mean, I knew that already.
It really was. Now, Nehemiah cared about his hometown so much that he prayed to God that he could return and help build the wall back.
Now that's a big question. Not only did he have to be the cupbearer to the king, but building a wall would be like a ton of work.
It would, but it meant a lot to Nehemiah, so he knew that he had to ask God about it. Once Nehemiah was around the king knew something was wrong and knew that Nehemiah wanted to ask him something. So the king asked Nehemiah what was on his mind.
Did he tell the king about his desires to go back to Jerusalem?
He did, but first he prayed to God about it. It was important to him that he asked God first, and then he asked the king.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It was. It was even cooler that the king said yes. He was going to let Nehemiah go back and help build the wall.
No way, that's great. All because he just asked the question.
Yep, but it only worked out because Nehemiah asked God the question first. So God was actually with Nehemiah when he asked the king.
Well, I guess that answers one of my questions.
Which one was that?
Well, I've been wondering how I'm going to get answers to all my questions. I never thought about asking God, but I will now.
That's great to hear, Carl. I'm glad you know now that we can ask God our questions.
Well, hot dog, that's our big idea.
Today's big idea is we can ask God our questions.
That's right. And on the count of 3, let's all say it together. 1,
2,
3. We can ask God our questions. We can. God will answer in one way or another. Right? Yes.
So what are you going to do with that big list of questions, Carl?
Well, I'm going to keep them, and I'm going to ask God the questions. Hopefully I can get some answers.
I bet you will. Maybe to even some of those silly ones.
Well, there you go again. There's nothing silly about this question. What cheese is the moon made out of?
Oh, I thought you already knew. The moon is made out of mozzarella.
Wait, what?
Bye, everyone.
We can eat the moon? It's made of cheese.
Thank you for watching, and tune in next week for a new episode of Pro TV.
Hey everyone, I'm glad you're here. Hey, what's your favorite thing to draw? I like to draw pizza, and puppies, and my family. But I have a really big family, so they're kind of hard to draw. Have you ever made something that was really hard to make? Well, in today's story, we'll meet a guy named Nehemiah who wanted to make something that was really hard to make. It wasn't a drawing, but let me tell you what it was. Nehemiah was from a city called Jerusalem, but he lived far away. When our story begins, Nehemiah was sad. He'd just heard from his brother that his hometown was in trouble. The people in Jerusalem didn't follow God like they used to, and the walls surrounding their city were falling down. This was hard news for Nehemiah to hear. He trusted God, but he didn't understand why the city he loved was crumbling like that. So Nehemiah went to the king he worked for and asked for permission to go home and lead his people in rebuilding Jerusalem. The king said, "Go!" and even gave Nehemiah help in making the long journey ahead of him. Rebuilding the walls was a big job. In fact, even though Nehemiah knew God wanted him to lead his people, he wasn't sure how to get it done. But Nehemiah trusted God. He said, "Okay, God, if this is going to happen, you'll have to tell me what to do next." And guess what? God heard Nehemiah's prayers and showed him what to do. Even when people doubted if Nehemiah knew what he was doing, he knew God was right there, helping him every time he had a question. Just like Nehemiah went to God when he wasn't sure what to do, we can ask God our questions too.
Okay, watch first. James 1:5. If any of you need wisdom, ask God for it.
Guy, I think we're ready to try it.
All right, repeat after me. James 1:5.
James 1:5.
If any of you need wisdom,
If any of you need wisdom,
ask God for it.
ask God for it.
All right, now let's say the whole verse together.
Okay.
James 1:5. If any of you need wisdom, ask God for it.
Sunny sea monkeys, you always know the perfect verse.
Would you rather questions for kids, part 2. Would you rather travel in a plane or travel in a hot air balloon? Would you rather eat donuts or eat French fries? Would you rather be a police officer or be a doctor? Would you rather go to school or stay at home? Would you rather always be tired or always be hungry? Would you rather eat tacos or eat a burger? Would you rather live on the moon or live on Mars? Would you rather be a professional athlete or be an astronaut? Would you rather take the bus to school or walk to school? Would you rather sleep in a tent or sleep in a hotel room? Would you rather own your own boat or own your own airplane? Would you rather live in a desert or live on a deserted island? Would you rather eat broccoli that tastes like ice cream or eat ice cream that tastes like broccoli? Would you rather play in the sun or play in the snow? Would you rather live in a city or live in a cabin in the mountains?